Some of the local kids that run around my neighborhood have been talking about this new urban legend they call the Midjourney monster. I recognize the title as that AI art generator thing, and I was curious about it, so I eavesdropped on them and I heard the deal. Apparently, if you generate art on Midjourney, all you gotta do is type in Midjourney monster, and the AI will generate a unique monster that will haunt the rest of your images and eventually, you. Of course, some of the other kids said a bunch of other things too. The Midjourney monster is actually made of your own worst fears. The Midjourney monster's presence means something disastrous will happen to you. The Midjourney monster appears in your house if you say its title aloud 3 times, yada, yada, yada. They've gone even so far as to say it's killed people in the local area. Something they twisted from an unfortunate series of strange heart attacks last month. Honestly, the actual thing was so bizarre and haunting, I get it. We all wish it was a monster instead of a normal, tragic thing. Who knows? Maybe someone had a heart attack from the monster Midjourney conjured up for them. Needless to say, I have a taste in the macabre and avant-garde. I've tried it all. Ever since I got curious about Bloody Mary as a kid and did the whole mirror challenge thing. Now I drink Bloody Marys for breakfast. The dark and spooky was fun, sure, but what I loved more than that was being able to conquer it. There was a certain satisfaction to it, almost as if it were a video game and I were a completionist. Nothing really scared me, and I lived for that thrill. So, I got a Discord account and got into the Midjourney server. I'd seen some videos on it, but wasn't able to pay money for the service, so I just have to be satisfied with the handful of images it would give me. Without beating around the bush, I went to type in Midjourney monster into the prompt and waited patiently. As I waited, many images of other people's prompts flashed before me, and I was sincerely impressed with all the different things this AI could make. After a moment, my image came back to me. But strangely enough, there wasn't a single monster in any of them. Weird. I entered the same prompt again and waited. More images flashed by. I scrolled up to watch the horror as the batch of 4 images became clearer and clearer. But when they were finished, still no monster. The images didn't make sense together either. I thought they were all supposed to be from the same prompt, but each image was totally different. In the latest batch of mine, the first one was a girly pink room, the second of a classical painting of a lamp, the third was a crudely drawn apple, and the fourth, a simple blue wall. Nothing at all resembling a monster or even anything sentient. I was confused. I pitied the kids who would be disappointed looking into this. Well, I decided to give it another try until all my images were used up, so I once again typed in the prompt and waited for Midjourney to give me my monster. While I waited, someone else in the server had typed, "Stop." I responded back saying it was a public server and I wasn't spamming for the sake of spamming or anything. They replied, "No, stop asking for more Midjourney monsters. 5 is enough." 5? What were they talking about? I went back to look at my first batch. Nothing. Literally nothing. One image was of a simple coin, another depicting space, the third showing a toothbrush, and the last being of an empty roller coaster. 5 what? I asked them. Just then, my latest image finished rendering. "Oh great, now you've done it," they told me. "Good luck and don't say you weren't warned." I just didn't understand. Each image in this one at least looked related. They were all white backgrounds with red streamers as if it were a birthday party. I don't get it. I typed back to the other user. "Where's my monster?" Or monsters, as you said. "If you haven't seen them, then it's best you turn around now and forget about it." They responded, "No, I want to see them," I said. "You want to?" They responded. "Yes." And then they said something I hadn't thought of. Upscale. So I did. I upscaled each image I just generated. I excitedly waited and watched as each render just scrolling past other users' images. The chat started blowing up a bit and people were adding me, but I wasn't about to read them. They probably thought I was trolling, but I was here for an experience. The first image finished rendering, and lo and behold was my monster. a rather basic monster. It was silhouetted with a white face, beady eyes, and a gaping mouth. Very original. I was almost disappointed in the AI. The next few monsters were at least a little more interesting. One looking like a disgusting, long blue insect with an unsettling amount of legs. Another was a few stories high and looked like a giant caterpillar-like dragon. Another was a bleeding eye that belonged to a much larger creature. Pretty good, Midjourney. But not good enough to scare me. But then, the last image finished rendering. And that last one made me believe. It was of that first basic monster, right in front of my bedroom door.